What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. Oh my goodness, I look so rubbish. Please, this is your preview for Sheffield United versus Arsenal, the FA Cup quarterfinal. The quarterfinal we never thought we would see at one point, but we're seeing it. It takes place tomorrow afternoon, I believe, at 1 p.m. Obviously, don't forget, me and Lee, as always, this game will be no different. We'll be covering it as a wash along and then doing the review back on this channel, player ratings on this channel. So make sure you do not miss it, okay? Sheffield United is going to be a difficult task. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is a game I'm a little bit wary of, a little bit nervous of. As soon as the draw happened, I was like, oh no. First of all, it was away from home, which was bad enough. And then I looked at it and I said, oh no, Sheffield United. Oh goodness. And yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm wary of them because they've been performing well. Now, I know people will immediately go back to the fact that, Chig, they've been performing well. You know, they're 8th in the league, right? When they lost their last two. Cool. You know, they're still higher than us, though, right? They're still higher than us. And yeah, they've not had a great time of it. Obviously, since the league restarted, they haven't scored a goal yet. They played Aston Villa on the 17th of June, and that was 0-0. They played Newcastle United, and albeit they had 10 men, but they got smoked 3-0. And then they got smoked most recently on Wednesday this week, 3-0 by Manchester United. And truth be told, I watched that United game on the highlights. It was light work. It was light work. So you got to think that Chris Wilder is probably a little bit nervous because I'm sure Sheffield United would be hoping to seal one of those European places. And quite frankly, their form up until now, particularly pre-lockdown, they deserved it. I would say out of all the teams in the league, lockdown messed with their momentum the most. I think that shows in their last three results. But, and this is the reason for my title, Arsenal knows that if you need a goal, if you need a win, it likes to don its Santa Claus hat. And that's my concern about this particular situation, because as soon as I heard that Sheffield United had lost their last three games, hadn't even scored a goal, and then the next game was Arsenal Football Club, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Why? Why do we have to be the next game? Why couldn't they have picked up a win somewhere else? Oh, goodness. And let's face it, the FA Cup is probably the one shining note of our season, particularly if we somehow, by some fluke, was able to win it. Now, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I looked at that Liverpool celebration, and yeah, I was filled with envy because I'm a football fan. I would love it if my team, I would love it if my team could win. I still remember, I'm still one of the few people that's old enough to remember what the celebrations were like in '04 after that invincible season. I'm one of the few fans that were able to remember the '02 season, which a lot of people argue was the best Arsenal team. I'm still old enough to just about remember when I was 13 years old, Arsenal winning the 1998 season. Probably, in my opinion, the best Arsenal side of my lifetime. I remember that. So, you know, seeing Liverpool, and obviously, I don't want us to be in that situation whereby we have to wait 14 more years before we're in that position. Flipping heck, it's already 16. Who would have ever thought that Arsenal would be in a situation where we haven't won a league in 16 years? And it wouldn't even be that bad if it was on the horizon. It was on the parapet. If anything, it seems to be we're slipping away from that. We have never been further away from it. And that's my concern here. That is my biggest concern here. That we've got, let's face it, a novice manager. I don't even really hate Arteta. I get it. The guy is going to make mistakes. Of course he's going to make mistakes. He's never been in a job before. I don't hate Arteta. This is the fault of the board. And people will be watching this thinking, oh, Chig, why are you so negative? We won our last game. All right, fucking hell. Congratulations. We won our last game. But just watching that Liverpool celebrations, you didn't think to yourself, you didn't think a little bit of envy? You didn't wonder when is the next time Arsenal will be in that position? I did. I genuinely did. Flipping heck, here's me sat here whining about Sheffield United. Flip me. Once upon a time, we didn't even blink our eyelid about Sheffield United. It'd be a privilege for them to have us on their stadium. Now, Sheffield United fans, quite frankly, they'll be gutted if they don't think that they can beat us. They'll be gutted. How did we slip that far? I know they're playing well now. Anyway, it is what it is. We are in the position we're in. And quite frankly, the way our season's going, this may be the only route of securing some kind of European football. Because for those who don't know, because again, we've never been in this position where we've been so low we've needed to. Sorry, I'm going to turn this on because it's still a bit warm in here, right? I'll leave it. We've never been in this position before where we've needed to. In order to get you Europa League football, this may be our best route. Winning this competition may be our best route. Because obviously, if you win the FA Cup, you have a place. Excuse me. You have a place in the Europa League. So there has to be something positive that comes out of that. You know, not only winning a cup, where let's face it, there ain't going to be no bus parades this year, but there's got to be something good that comes out of Arsenal winning a cup and securing European football. Don't get me wrong, still not a brilliant season, especially the way our league campaign has gone. But at least you can hold your head up high at the end of the year and say, all right, at least the season wasn't a complete write-off. We won something and we still achieved an objective, not the objective, but an objective of securing a place in the Europa League. So, and then you kind of can shrug your shoulders and say, all right, on to the next season. And then try and rebuild for that next season. That at the moment is the only source of, when you're an Arsenal fan, you need to look for reasons to continue watching these games. That at the moment is my only reason to watch these games. It's just, yeah, okay, I enjoy doing the watching along and I enjoy interacting with you guys. That's a secondary reason. I'll be honest, that is a secondary reason. But ultimately, if I wasn't doing these shows, I would still probably be watching it. And if I was watching it, this would be the primary reason. It would be so that hopefully maybe Arsenal might be able to win a cup because we are in the quarterfinals of it. We might as well focus on thinking about winning it. Might as well. Let me be polite. So while we're thinking about winning a cup and securing an objective, I'm going to say an objective because I don't want the Europa League to suddenly become the objective. While we're thinking about winning the cup and being in the Europa League, maybe this season Arsenal fans and Arsenal players can hold their head high and say, "All right, we did something. When it weren't what we wanted, but we did something." So I think for me that is the significance of this game. Now, having said all of that, and I think we've all agreed that this game is important, right? You're going to see some YouTubers talk to you about the fact that you need to constantly play your best team possible, right? For me personally, you guys know I've never been afraid to say it on this channel. I think squad management is important. I do, particularly in a league where we are playing a lot of games in a short space of time, and we saw what happened to Kieran Tierney, and that was a cramp. So I want you to hold that in your head before you see this hopeful 11 of mine. That I am a fan of squad management. I am a fan of making changes where necessary to manage fragile players that we already have against a physical team that we're about to play. So I'm keeping all of those aspects in mind before you see this team. It's important you guys do. All right. So with that being said, I suppose I've drum rolled enough. Let me show you what my hopeful 11 is. This is not what I believe the team or Arteta will do. This is what I would do as Arsenal manager. Now, let me show you. Let me give you an idea of what I've done. 2 secs. Where are you? Okay, I thought I downloaded it. Maybe I hadn't. So I've not downloaded it, so I can actually move it. So this is my 11. I'm putting this fan on. Sorry for the noise, guys. Right. So this is my hopeful 11. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So I've got Martinez in goal. For me, this is not a game that you risk Matt Macy in spite of everything I've said. It's not like Martinez has been, it's not like he has the sort of role where he needs to be worried about playing too many games at once. And B, he's not like he's been playing all season. So quite frankly, hold on, I just realized you might not be able to see this. So let me full screen it. Martinez in goal for me, I'm going with that. Now, I have gone back on something I've said, and that is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I was very reluctant to play him at right back because it's very clear that he's trying to almost reinvent himself as a central midfielder. And I've always been very critical of Wenger and Emery for playing him out of position and almost him losing the ability to be a central midfielder. I think you almost need to reschool him in his own position. And that's why I would stop playing him as a right back. Having said that, Hector was so trash. He was so trash. So trash against Southampton. So trash against Brighton. That either he needs a rest or needs dropping. Either way, it amounts to the same thing. Unfortunately, we have another right back that we don't get to see. So the only other option that we have is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So this is one of them ones where you apologize to him, just say, I'm sorry, I know what I said, I need you, buddy. I need you playing right back. So that's why Ainsley Maitland-Niles plays as a right back to me. Centre back, I'm going with Socrates. Of no real surprise that I've decided to put in Socrates here. I think it's important that we keep this guy ticking over. You'll notice David Luiz is nowhere near my team, which I suppose brings me to Rob Holding. It's not like Rob Holding has had that much football. I think with Rob Holding, the one thing I noticed about him is the key to him is while he's in good form, keep him playing. Keep him playing well. He played very well against Southampton, even though I didn't personally think he was man of the match. I still thought he played very well. I think him and Socrates will work as a partnership. Two big physical guys as well. Rob is 6'2", Papa is 6'1", but they are both units against a potentially physical Sheffield United side. It's a shame. I'm going to say something controversial here. I actually think David Luiz would be fine in a physical battle, but I don't want him as part of this team. And this is my team. So I'll be very shocked if you see David Luiz in my team between now and the end of the season. My man, I don't know what to do with him, quite frankly. But in terms of my team, I stick Holding there. I also rest Mustafi. Not that Mustafi's done anything wrong, just had a lot of football since we come back in short spaces of time. I noticed with Mustafi, if you continue playing him, you are tempting fate. So this is one of their ones you just chill, just rest him a little bit. Bring in Papa, is just as professional, just as experienced. Bring him in, he'll do the job fine. Plus, I don't really understand why all of a sudden Arteta has completely given up on Papa as a defender, as a central defender. To me, Luiz and Mustafi have both done more things wrong than he has. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's of a high quality, But I don't think he's any more culpable than David Luiz or Squadron Mustafi. So for me, I stick him in there. On the left-hand side, now this is the controversial one, Kolasinac. Did think about Tierney, did think about Saka. I decided I don't want Saka playing as left-back unless absolutely necessary. I think almost in the same vein as Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I think it's important for your players to be versatile, but it's also more important for them to not get used to a particular position, i.e. left-back. You know, Saka is so much more than a left. I personally think he could be a number 10. I think he's that good. I think he'd be wasted as a left back personally. Tierney had this cramp, and he might be okay for Sheffield United, but Sheffield United are a physical team. I'd rather play Tierney against a Leicester or Wolves, and I wouldn't necessarily risk him for this particular battle. So I would go with the Kolasinac. Kolasinac weirdly doesn't do well against physical teams, which makes no sense because he's a physical unit. But I still would put him in this side. You've got him there, play him. And like I say, for me, this is not taking shots at anybody in particular. So Jeremiah, I noticed you mentioned Lee Gunner. That it wasn't my criticism of Lee Gunner. Lee Gunner knows I disagree with him when it comes to squad manager. He knows this already. But my personal opinion is, in a situation where you're playing a lot of games over a short space of time, you need to be able to utilize squad management. I think there's no point. Some people just have that attitude of play your team until they get run into the ground and then make changes. It's just not my belief. I think you've got a squad there, utilize them. Kolasinac is not of a particular high quality, but I'd rather play him in this than risk Tierney, who already has a bit of a knock, and risk further injury. I'd rather Tierney for the rest of the season. We've already seen he's a bit delicate, so I'd rather him for the rest of the season. So that's why I put Kolasinac in there. In the middle, Lucas Toreros got to start this game. I want to hear no other excuses or nonsense. He has to start this game. Alongside him, I'm going with Granit Xhaka. I will say this for Xhaka. Played all right, actually, against Southampton. He did. And I think the way you get the best out of him has always been to play him with Torreira. Torreira are the legs. I want to see Guendouzi in this team. If he's asked to leave, you might as well bleed him out now. Bleed him out of the team now. So I play Lucas Torreira alongside Granit Xhaka. That's our best midfield partnership anyway. Let's just go with that. Top four. Made some difficult choices here. First omission you can see is Saka, Bukayo Saka. I love Saka. I noticed he went through the wars against Southampton, though. That's one thing I did keep an eye on. And for that reason, I would chill and rest him just for this game. Maybe come on a bit later on and be a bit of an impact sub. You've noticed I've switched stuff around. I'll explain why. I'm going to go Reece Nelson on the right-hand side. I've seen people suggest Reece maybe could come in on the left. I'm not of that ilk. I think Reece has always been best on that right-hand side. Play him on that right-hand side. And the good thing about it is that his boy, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, playing behind him, will give him the adequate support he needs, as opposed to Hecky B thinking about the trees he's going to plant. I don't know. So I think from that perspective, I would say play Nelson on the right-hand side. In the middle, I did contemplate Mesut Ozil. I must be honest, I did. But in the end, I went for Ceballos. I think, you've not got Ceballos for very long. Supposedly he's going to Betis or wherever it is he's going. And utilize him. He's not our player. Run him into the ground if necessary. You got to do what you got to do. And quite honestly, I'd rather see a Ceballos play there than a Mesut Ozil going missing against a physical side. How many times have we seen that? We know this boy doesn't like travelling north. May as well play Ceballos, who I think will probably relish the challenge of playing against these lot. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Pepe. Now, I know the chances of him playing Pepe on the left-hand side is 0 to none. For me, I think it's just about trying something different with Pepe. You paid 72 million for this guy. Try something different. I still think maybe number 10 is the way forward, personally, but if you don't want to try that, at least try something different with Pepe. He's capable of brilliance. And the irony that people would talk about the fact that this is a flop season for him. And I think he's had, what is it now? 8 goals and 9 assists. Not the worst. That's not the worst. Considering people want Coutinho, and Coutinho's record is what? 6 goals and 9 assists this season for Bayern Munich? What exactly is the difference? If anything, Pepe's record is better. But it doesn't stop people saying, I'd have Coutinho. Oh, yeah? Then you'd have Pepe. So I'll play Pepe on that left-hand side. Up top, very reluctantly, I've gone with Lacazette. I did consider Eddie for this. I obviously considered Aubameyang for this. Aubameyang, as silly as this sounds, looks off. It may be a case of put him as an impact sub, rest him, whatever. Just let him chill on the bench. He looks off to me. Something's not. His brain is in Inter. I don't know, but he don't look right. So I think for that reason, I think you bring in a Lacazette who may be looking to put himself in the shop window, maybe hungry to prove himself. Give him a bit of a fucking rollicking if necessary. I play Lacazette in this with the view of I wouldn't be afraid to take him off if he's underperforming. I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but that is my hope for 1 to 11. That is what I think. What do you guys think? What changes will you guys make? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. It is 25 to 7, and I've got a couple more videos to do, and I've got some work to do with my own day-to-day job. So before I bounce, let me just holler at you guys for 10 minutes and see what you lot are saying. But this is my hope for 1 to 11. Not what I think the manager would pick, just what I would pick. All right, let me see what you lot are saying. Okay. How many times will Lacazette fall down tomorrow? Who knows? Who knows? Pepe will have a free attacking role. Don't limit him to either wing. That's what I would do. I put him as a number 10, personally. All things being equal, I think you put him as a number 10, personally. Evan, I hope you're all right. It's been a while since I've seen you. Just clocked you in here. Dr. Viraj. When you watch a match in India, is any channel that will be a broadcaster? Well, in England, it's BT Sport, and I don't know about India. Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Prediction. I feel like, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm quietly confident about this game, and I don't really know why. Maybe it's something to do with Sheffield United form. But knowing Arsenal, they are a very rewarding team in situations like that. But I still think if we could keep it tight, compete, then I could see us squeezing a 1-0 victory. I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. You're my lineup. There you go. Thank you, my darling. All right, let's see here some predictions. So Joanne's gone 2-1 Arsenal. Mo Ali's gone 2-0. Archie's gone 3-1 Arsenal. Aubameyang show. Oh, you think you'll put on a show? Okay. Bambo, who do you think will score? I think we'll see Pepe score. 1-0. Pepe. Don't get my hopes up, chick. Abalev, 2-2 Arsenal win on penalties. Oh, Abalev. I'm trying to put us through it. Pepe wasn't the number 10 at Lille. We have to play him close on the encounter. So my thought process with that is it's not worked doing that. So why I'm proposing to change it is because at the moment he's telegraphing his moves. Maybe that shit worked in France. It's not working in England. I do think that a proper right back behind him would help him, but I also don't want to make excuses for him because I criticize people that defend Ozil like that. Like, oh, with Ozil has strikers in front of, I don't want to make excuses like that for Pepe. So I think trying to find a solution for Pepe is the key. Playing him as a number 10, what that would do is, yes, he's a dribbly number 10, but he could be like a Coutinho. Coutinho is a dribbly number 10. He can weave his tricks. He can now be in a situation where he's center of the pitch and you don't necessarily know which way he's going to go. And I think it's the unpredictability factor that I want to get rid of for Pepe, because at the moment he's struggling with that. So that's potentially why I'd play him as a number 10 moving forward. But I think to get him up to fitness, just stick him on a wing that helps his left foot. And that's why I would opt to play him on the left for this particular game. There is method to my madness, I promise you. There is method to my madness. Elliot thinks 2-0. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Elliot. How old will you be? How old are you now? How old are you now? Happy birthday. Ewan, 2-0 Sheffield United. Oh, Ewan, killing me, brother. And Michael follows suit. 2-2 Sheffield United on pens. You think they could take better pens than us? I'd hope not. I think Norwich will beat United tomorrow. I think that's you wishful thinking, considering where you live. Bambo 2-1 Sheffield United. 2-0 Starboy. 42, my brother. My favorite Canadian. I always thought you were younger than me. Turns out you're older than me. There you go. Well, happy birthday. 2-0 Arsenal. Okay. All right. Well, generally more positive than Southampton, because no one thought we'd win against Southampton when I did this preview. So that's good. It's a bit more like it, I guess. All right. We'll do 5 more minutes just to give you an idea of my schedule. So I'm about to upload during the course of now to midnight 2 videos for the Gold members, so make sure to keep an eye out on that. One is a chopping block for tomorrow, so you guys obviously get that before the main subscribers. And then the other is a Chig Knows Best, where I don't know when I'm going to release that to the subscribers. So you get a real exclusive. So that will be specifically for the Gold members. The chopping block will be for both members, both the silver and gold members. And then either tomorrow or Monday, maybe tomorrow, I might just do a short stream with both members tomorrow. Obviously, it'll be after the game. It may replace my plans for the podcast. It just depends on the way tomorrow shakes down. But I'll definitely do one. So be literally a short stream specifically for the silver and gold members, almost just to say thank you for you guys' support. And obviously, feel free to join if you want to check that out. It's easy to join. If you're not able to join through the join button down below, let me know. I could give you a link for that. But yeah, that would be great. All right. Let me quickly just read up. Opinions on Koulibaly to Man City. If I'm Man City, that's how I'm flexing. I must admit, I'm surprised they're not going for Upamecano. For me, that would make more sense to just a young defender that can also grow up through the ranks. I love Koulibaly. I've been talking about Koulibaly since I started this channel. You guys know, right? I recommend certain signings. Koulibaly was my very first one. My very, very first one. But he's also 28 to 29 years old. It's like, how much life are you going to get out of him? If I'm City, I'm just seeing Liverpool do that by that much margin. I'm thinking, okay, let's buy some impact players for now, yes, but also let's see if we can also groom our next players. And, someone that can take over the old guard a little bit. So, yeah, it's kind of like replacing John Stones with an older guy. Seems a bit arse backwards for me, if I'm City. But I can see why they're flexing. Listen, the one team that don't have to ever worry about money is City. So they might just say to themselves, "Oh, let's flex it. We'll buy Stones for now, and then next year, we'll buy Koulibaly for now, and then next year we'll go and get Canute from RB Leipzig. He's the better defender anyway. Do you know what I mean? Just a heads up, Chig. I don't think Toreros fit. Is he still not fit? I'm hoping he is. I'm hoping you're wrong. I'm hoping you're wrong. I'm hoping that they've deliberately put him off the initial games with the view of this game and playing him in this game. If he's still out, then I'd have to go Joe Willock. If he's still out. If he is still out, then I'll go Joe Willock. So that's my team. If he's still out. Because we may just need a runner, just someone who can put a foot in and just run. One thing Joe Willock will do, I'm still not convinced he's over required quality, but he'll run all day long for you. How much I'll give him. Why didn't you put Cedric in your lineup? Because I didn't think Cedric was fit, to be honest. Obviously, if Cedric is fit, then I switch Ainsley Maitland-Niles to the middle, and then Cedric starting as a right back. But I didn't think he was fit. All my information is that he's not quite ready yet. If he's ready, then let's go. We ain't seen him. How confident am I of Szoboszlai? Confident in terms of quality of a player? Fantastic. Confident that Arsenal will get him? I'm not confident of anything. I'm not confident of anything. In terms of the actual signing, that may or may not have something to do with the video that comes out to the Goal members. Let's put it that way. I promised a video a long time ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. It occurred to me yesterday I should do it for the members at least. So I've done it. It goes out to the members today. Gabriel's what we need. Well, would you have him over Upamecano? That's my question to you, Mahil. If he's fit, then let's go. If he's fit, then let's go. If he's fit, to me, then that's your answer. That's an easy answer. You put Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the middle, you stick Cedric out right, you're good to go. If he's fit. Do you think the Premier League season has been the worst ever? Yeah, it's not been great, has it? It's been devoid of lack of drama. But let's face it, the most drama we've had in the Premier League season has been the damn COVID. Because the action on the pitch has just been like, Liverpool ran away with it. The bottom lot are the bottom lot. You know, there's not really a lot of drama. There's not really a lot of suspense there, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Imagine you were part of the board and Stan gave you 300 million. What are you doing? Oh, I don't know why he would give 300 million. Seems pretty mad. But if he gave me 300 mil, I'd get Upamecano and Canute. I'd play them together and have Saliba competing with a place with them. I'd get them both. Rago, why not? Why not? I'd go and get Partey, and then I'd go and get Sangara. Sangara, I think, will cost you 15 million. Partey will obviously cost you 45 million. I'd sell Uber. I'd sell Laka. I'd sell Hector. I'd go and at the 11th hour go and sabotage this Hakimi to Inter nonsense. Go and see if you can grab him. Go and get Szoboszlai. And then I'd go and get Usman Edouard from Celtic. and then I'd go and get I'd go and spunk probably the last 80 to 90 million on Kai Havertz. Just raggle. Just raggle. Just imagine Kai Havertz in front of a Partey and a Sankara. Tell me that midfield isn't 15 levels above what we have. Isn't going 15 mil at least. Yeah, I know the paper said that, Ben, but I think it'll be more like 15 because he was worth 22 before Toulouse's relegation. Papers reckon he might be as cheap as 10. I don't think so. I think it'd be more like 15. It's like the paper said that Szoboszlai was going to be 18 million. Now it turns out he has a 23 million release clause. So I think it'll be a bit higher. I can't see him going for 10 million only. If it was 10 million only, Arsenal would have gone for him already. 100%. 100%. Hello, Chig. Grealish or Szoboszlai? Szoboszlai. And I like Grealish. I like Grealish. Szoboszlai. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I've kind of changed my mind on the Aubameyang situation. Actually, I'd let him go. If he wants to go that bad, let him go. I'm sick of people saying, "Oh, well, if you pay me the appropriate amount, I'll stay." That's how we ended up in the Mesut Ozil situation. So, if it's clearly that I would assume Arsenal have at least tried to broach the subject of how much he'd want to be paid, and opted that actually maybe he's not worth that much. So it makes you wonder how much he's asking for. And I wonder if it's so unrealistic that Aubameyang just thought, you know what? So sorry, or Arsenal just thought, you know what? I'll let you go then. Yeah, Sangara is 10. He's on the last year. I guarantee whenever Sangara moves this summer, it'll be more than 10 million. I guarantee it. Toulouse are not idiots. United like 15 million is a crazy amount, guys. It's only 5 million from what you're saying it is. But if you're in Toulouse's spot, that extra 5 million will make a difference. So to say, oh no, he'll definitely go for 10. All right, we'll see. Chig, when's the next cooking with Chig? Soon come, soon come. The members have had a couple. Remember, it's a member-only show now, Shahid. So if you want to be part, you want to see him, you got to be a member, brother. Don't mean to be like that, but it's true. Uber wants to go into 100%, Ben. We'll do that. Kind of agree with this. Do kind of agree with this. We have a future past Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And actually, I won't say he's overrated like my man says, but what I would say is that maybe getting rid of him would help balance the side again because we've now not got him on the left hand side, and we're not trying to accommodate him unnecessarily. You know, this manager seems to be obsessed playing him on the left hand side. My favorite dish is pounded yam and egusi soup, which is a Nigerian dish. Liverpool bought so many players from lower teams. Yeah, I agree with you. Kenny Ken made that point once that when you really think about where Liverpool bought their players from, they've been Premier League players. Even Salah, who, all right, they bought him via abroad, but he'd been in the Premier League. Mane, Premier League player. Van Dijk, Premier League player. Milner, Premier League player. Henderson, Premier League player. Lallana, Premier League player. You know, there's something to that. There is something to that. But Premier League players are typically very expensive. That's why, from an Arsenal perspective, I wouldn't mind them looking at Norwich. Well, Norwich have a couple of decent players that would make our team better. You know, they've got a couple of players that I think I'll make our team better. Uh, Pounded yam and jollof. That's a lot of carbs, my guy. Pounded yam and jollof? Or are you talking about two separate dishes? Uh, Liverpool should see, yeah, Ox, Premier League player. So I'm saying there's a pattern here. They're right, like a Premier League player. I think they bought Robertson when Hull were in the Premier League. There is a pattern. Gomez, all right, from the Championship, but still. So there is a pattern and there is something to that, which is why the players I mentioned are just, they're good players, but frankly, they're players that we're going to be able to afford on our budget. Now, yes, if you have 300 million, that's not so much of a big deal, but you're able to buy less with that. I think even doing it my way, keeping in mind, even with 300 mil, I've still made sales because if I bring in two extra defenders, I need to get rid of most of my defense. Mind you, I would not have extended David Luiz, and that's even before the mistakes. I never would have bought him in the first place. But I damn sure to let his contract go. I'd have brought in the youngsters, and yeah, all right. You might say, okay, well, Chig, you're losing a lot of Premier League experience, whatever. But the point is that these are a set, and this is one thing Lee said very recently. I completely and utterly agree with. By bringing in youngsters, all these people are growing up together. That's one thing Leicester did fantastically in the lead up to their title. They had people that were playing in the same team, growing up together. That's why Vardy couldn't bear to leave the team. He couldn't bear to leave the team. You know, why is it whenever we have a star player that's being courted by other teams, they can't wait to get out of it? Vardy was being courted by a supposedly big team, and he was just like, oh, I don't know, I'm in two minds, you know. Don't know, you know. Yeah, I know, right? He could talk the talk and start showing off and say, oh, he thinks that Arsenal weren't good enough. And maybe that was part of it. Don't kid yourself and think that the Leicester pull wasn't a big part of it as well. Of course it was. That bond and stuff, sometimes it's the difference between you losing a big player and not. Why is it all the time you hear reports that, oh, well, Aubameyang loves it in London and this, that, and the other? He still ain't signed no contract though, has he? So how much can he really love it? I'd be fine with no European football. It allows us to focus on the league. Might be able to get top four that way. Heck, it worked for Chelsea. They finished 10th. Following season, they won the league. The only problem is Chelsea were a lot better team than we are now. They still are. Anyway, I've done some real OT. Let's give it 5 more minutes and I'll get up out of it. 5 more minutes. Because we're having a good conversation. 5 minutes and I'm out. Any more for any more for any more. We are due a windfall from Ox winning the league. Yeah, so I read this morning. That's some good news. I don't know how much it could realistically be, but I was like, it's something, isn't it? Something. We should go for Max Aaron's. Yeah, I would. I would sell Hector. See, that was the other thing I was disappointed about because I knew Inter were one of the main people that was after Hector Bellerin. So when I saw they were about to sign Hakimi, my two questions were: first of all, A, how the heck did we let Inter still not march on us for Hakimi? And B, I thought they were buying Hector Bellerin, which means they must have at some point been told no, and then they've gone for Hakimi instead, which just makes me depressed. Meanwhile, this guy's in the last 2 years of his contract. I'd sell him regardless, and we're about to do the exact same thing with Hector Bellerin as we've done with Aubameyang. He goes into the last year of his contract. Arsenal in a position where they feel like they have to offer him a new deal because typically they were caught on their heels, and they feel that they have no other option than to keep their right back, offer him a contract. He starts flirting with other teams. We're left looking like idiots. again. Whereas you can make an executive to say, all right, I don't personally think Suarez is good enough, right? I never rated him while he was at Southampton. There's no point me pretending now. But I would respect it more if they said, you know what? We believe in Suarez so much, we gave him a 4-year deal. Hector, you can bounce, brother. Piss off. And then meanwhile, Arsenal go and get that geezer from, I think his name's Jaden, from Derby County, or the Birmingham right back, both of which are either dirt cheap or free. At least it would show some sort of plan. Hey, Chig, I don't want to sound negative, but I feel United will win this FA Cup. I hope not, Anish. I hope not. I still ain't believe until I see him hold the shirt up. Who's that? Jahid. Who did Jahid say? Oh, Partey. Yeah. I think people are trying not to allow him to become carried away. Mate, I've been an Arsenal fan for 30 years and we're a joke. We've got no plan in this transfers, and this is not half of the team we had in the past. And saying that we got no money is a joke. I just wish I did not love the club. Mark, every day, my dad is a Man United fan, right? He was talking to me about Arsenal on Father's Day. And I shit you not, I just turned around to him and I said, why didn't you make me become a Man United fan? And he started laughing. He said, are you being serious? I said, yeah. My life would have been a lot easier. I'd be literally a lot less stressed, because I would have seen, me personally, I would have seen United win trophies, and I would understand the process. I'd understand the transition. Yeah, and yeah, people like Paul Pogba would piss me off. I'm sure they would. But I get it a little bit, but it'd be a little bit easier to take. At least I know that at some point, even if I hate the owners, at some point they'll still take money out of their pocket and spend. This Arsenal stuff, flip me, man. I would have been a glory hunting United fan. I would have done it. We've done it the same way. Why weren't we close enough where you made me a United fan? But I fell in love with Arsenal. No, Ian Wright was the first black player I ever saw. As a kid, you didn't see a lot of black stars as athletes. It was something I just naturally gravitated towards. Red was my favorite color. Arsenal are literally my local team. I was doomed. I was doomed. Not to mention, my mum's the Arsenal fan. I blame her. I blame her all the time. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. I think I've given you guys a solid 49 minutes, just ticking over. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Before you get up out of it, you guys have killed it last 2 shows with the likes. Like squad, one more time. Jump on the likes, drill the like button like it stole something, like it done you some harm. Absolutely stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll be back tomorrow with Lee to do a review of the game, player ratings of the game. So make sure you don't miss that. That'll be straight after the game. And yeah, that's it really. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Saturday evening. I'm out of here. Once again,